Banff Show.
Hey, welcome to the Show Banff Show. My name is Sage, or All the Rage Sage YouTube account, and I'm here with Alex from Lost Dogs today. You've probably heard or seen of this restaurant in town, and they make the tastiest dogs in the world. So, Alex, what inspired you to bring this business here, and what inspired Lost Dogs?
Well, first of all, let me say thanks for having me on the show today. It's a pleasure to be able to share this with you guys. I guess what kind of started it, like, as bad as the pandemic has been, it has inspired us to come up with some new and interesting ideas of like reaching out to customers and guests and making an impact on some communities. So it kind of started with the idea of coming up with what's called the ghost kitchen. So we currently operate 4 restaurants in the province. But obviously with the pandemic and having several lockdowns over the period of the last year and a half, we had to come up with some other ideas to create some different revenue streams. And so one of the ideas was the ghost kitchen, that we could operate an entirely separate brand out of our current brick and mortar establishments to generate some more revenue and in turn, at the same time, create something special for the community. And so that's kind of where the idea started. And as far as the concept for Lost Dogs itself, it was just for a love of animals and a love of hot dogs. So, I think that hot dogs they inspire some, some mischievousness, some youthfulness in us. And, you remember eating them as kids. And so we wanted to take that classic idea of a hot dog and obviously elevate it as much as we can. And at the same time, I have several dogs myself, and we thought what a great way we could incorporate a charitable aspect into it by donating a certain portion of the hot dog to the local humane societies and SPCAs. So that's kind of where the idea started.
That is so cool. Because it's a ghost kitchen, is that why it's called Lost Dogs? Like, because
well,
it's
yeah,
like...
we tried to incorporate a few different ideas, and the name kind of just came to us. Like, I think that when you think of like the name Lost Dogs, you conjure up ideas of like actually helping find lost dogs, and you actually come up with the idea of some of our specialty hot dogs that might be a little bit foreign or a little bit different to other people, so they're kind of lost in their own right. And the other idea being that as a kid, or as a what we think of as hot dogs kind of seems like against the grain. Like people don't really celebrate eating hot dogs that often. And so we kind of thought that it was an interesting play on keeping it kind of rebellious, against the grain, and interesting and fun.
I love it. And I think that's what makes you stand out. Like, I love what you're doing with the dog, like rescuing dogs. Like, that's just so close to my heart right there. Like, thank you for doing that. And on top of that, like, I love your concept with like the lost dogs and celebrating, like, even like the way you wrap it up, the fact that's in like a pretzel bun, like, it looks so cool. And like, how can people find you if they want to order one of these special dogs?
Well, so we right now we're available in Calgary and Banff, so you can order through the website in Calgary, and you can call our Banff location and order for pickup. And in Calgary, we're currently available on Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Skip the Dishes as well. So yeah, we try to, and like there's lots of exciting things coming up in the future. So like we're going to be expanding the menu at some point to include a few more selections. We're trying some new different social media initiatives where, one of my friends who operates the location in Banff, we're going to do what's called a dog fight, and where he's going to create a new dog and I'm going to create a new dog, and we're going to see, based on social media votes, whose dog reigns supreme. So we're coming up with a few cool ideas. Yeah.
I love the idea. And I seriously love the marketing play you're putting into it. Like, before, to be honest, I didn't even know what you were until I started seeing all my friends post about lost dogs. Like, the media play and how you've been marketing it is incredible. Like, you are doing a really good job there. And I love
the whole idea. Yeah, the whole idea was to like we wanted it to kind of grow organically. Like you can dump a ton of money into paid ads and all sorts of marketing strategies, but with the current in the current climate and there wasn't a ton of money to dump into doing those things, and I don't think we really wanted to. We wanted to be kind of an organic grassroots approach where where people saw the product and were excited about it, and then pass that information on to their friends, and let it kind of grow, as it would, and like we kind of wanted a bit of exclusivity to it, like if you knew about it, you were kind of in the know, and that was an exciting part of the process, and unfortunately, there's some good things and bad things with that. Like, of course, we'd like to see it grow exponentially faster, but we've had a really good response from both Banff and Calgary, and we're excited to see where it goes from there.
That is really cool. And you keep rolling and growing. And I love that. Your hot dogs actually remind me a lot of like New York style, like when I first
Mm-hmm.
saw it. And so I have
Mm-hmm.
to ask, where are you originally from?
I'm from Calgary originally. I've traveled quite a bit in my days, and one of the things that excited me about hot dogs is that all through my travels to the States, almost every city has their own way of doing hot dogs. And that can be also true for a lot of places around the world. You travel to Germany and Austria, they have the currywurst and they have all sorts of different ideas. But almost every city in the States has their own regional style or their own way of topping them and the type of sausage and so on and so forth. So it really, when we thought of doing a ghost kitchen, it lent itself quite well because hot dogs there's so much variety. You can put anything on a hot dog, so the possibilities really are endless as far as what we can play around with.
That's incredible. And yes, now Banff has its own signature, and so does Calgary. Like, that is so cool. Like,
Yeah,
honestly,
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
love
So
that. Sorry, go for it. Go for it.
there was another big part of what we were trying to do here is to support as much local businesses at the same time. So one of the things that like we put a lot of effort into was what you referred to, the bun, and the bun was like something I came up with to try to make our hot dog stand out. So I think that's kind of the first thing that you notice about our hot dog,
Yeah.
and that was intentional. Obviously, we wanted to make there was a tie into like the Banff Camel area, like the three hills. So like Three Sisters, the mountains. They're kind of like three separate mountains, and the whole idea was that you could share the hot dog quite easily by cutting it into sections, and when somebody saw you eating that hot dog, they would know immediately that it was ours. And that hot dog's produced locally using a recipe that I came up with a local bakery here in Calgary called Angles. So they're producing our hot dog or our hot dog bun, sorry, and the hot dog itself is produced with Wagyu beef from Brant Lake Wagyu here in Alberta. So they're all handmade, custom made for us in Calgary, using all local beef as much as possible. So we really tried to make sure that we are supporting our community through charitable initiatives, through supporting local businesses as well, to try to get this concept off the ground.
Wow, I love how you're reaching out to local resources. It's fresh, like ingredients, not like old, like. And I
Mm-hmm.
love how you went for that unique style. Like, actually,
Mm-hmm.
that's what made your hot dog stand out to me was the bun, hands
Mm-hmm.
down. And
Mm-hmm.
it's so
Yeah.
nice. Has
Yeah. So
there
like, go ahead.
has there been like any challenges like starting the business, and what have you done to like get past these challenges?
Well, I think the first challenge, like I said, like initially we didn't know how fast or how the response would be. And so we started in Calgary with a lot of, like I said, the producers of these items were local in Calgary. And so even expanding to Banff, there was a few challenges in getting, the product up to over to Banff, and people don't deliver as often there and stuff. And we're hoping to expand further through the province, at some point into a few other locations. And so, it's all about logistics, trying to get the unique product that we've, kind of created for ourselves to these different locations. So that's kind of the first challenge, and the second challenge would be just marketing. Like I said, we didn't have a ton of money to dump into the initiative, and we didn't want to either. But sometimes it's a slow build, and sometimes it builds really quickly. So you just have to have patience and keep putting out a product that people want and enjoy, and that you're proud of, and it'll go from there.
Wow. I can already see the lineup just like going around the street because your name's starting to get out there. And on top of that, I love how you started this during COVID. But there's something else I was gonna add to this. Something you originally started with, and now I'm blanking. Something. Oh yeah, for the future. Where do you want to expand to?
Well, we're hoping, like I said, we have a few other brick and mortar locations in the province, and so the natural, we would like to see Lost Dogs in those locations at some point, and we really did want to package this as something that we might be able to see in other provinces in the country. It's when you can expand quickly and you can scale up an idea easily, then who knows? You might see Lost Dogs across the nation, someday. Yeah.
That would be so cool. We'd be racing there. We gotta go check out Lost Dogs. Are you gonna have a special dog per location, or is it gonna be just normal?
Well, I think that's something that we want to look at for sure. The thing that when you're looking at scalability or wanting to scale something up, you have to keep things simple. Like I said, as soon as you overcomplicate the process and get too many moving parts, the quality and the direction and the vision of that product can kind of suffer a bit. So we're probably going to look at keeping the menus fairly similar, but I do think there's an option or a possibility to having features. For a select period of time in this city, you can get this hot dog. So we're looking at all sorts of ideas, and we definitely do want to make the charitable donation that comes from each hot dog, because that's something that we're not going to change or we're not going to waver from, and so we definitely want to make that charitable donation a regional thing. So for example, the 50 cents from each hot dog in Calgary goes to the Calgary Humane Society, and in Banff, 50 cents from each hot dog goes to the Bow Valley SPCA. So we want to make sure that the hot dogs are making people happy, making people full, and also supporting charities in those specific areas.
I love how they're making a difference. How much money have you raised in total for all this, between Calgary and Banff?
I think that we're somewhere in the range of we've only been open for about a month and a half total, and I think that we're in the range of somewhere around $2,000. So we're making a small difference, but it's a difference nonetheless.
That's huge. It is a difference, and you're helping animals. That is huge. And seriously, thank you for doing that. You didn't have to, and I love your concept of helping people. Plus, the way you're reaching out, and also how your dogs are so custom. And is there anything you want to tell your audience before we have to go here?
I just, if you haven't tried Lost Dogs yet, give us a try, and we hope that you enjoy them. And one of the cool initiatives that we're going to start right away here is we're going to, contact the Bow Valley SPCA and the Calgary Humane Society, and we're going to look for dogs and that they are having a problem adopting out, whether it be because they're older or have some behavioral issues, and we're going to help them advertise those dogs on our social media accounts, so that we can hopefully get those dogs a home, even the ones that might not be a puppy or might not be the most well behaved, but still need a home nonetheless. So it's something that we're going to start right away here, and we're pretty excited about.
Oh my gosh, I love that concept. And I'm cheering for you guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Keep doing what you're doing, and keep inspiring. This is amazing. And someday I'm going to come down and find Jamie dogs. They look amazing.
You bet. Thanks so much, Sage.
Show Banff Show.
Show Banff Show.
Show Banff Show.
Show Banff Show.
Expanding our community.